another day of my equestrian life. And today is currently Friday. So, Tuesday we did a little bit of, Wednesday we did some work. And then Thursday we sort of took a day off because it was really hot. It was really, really hot. And the flies were really bad. So we actually spent most of Tuesday just trying to fight the flies off each other. I went out there like 50 times to fly spray them and to turn on my sprinkler and to do a whole bunch of things to help them with the flies. But thankfully today they seem to have calmed down. And right now the weather is sort of trying to figure out whether it wants to rain or not. So it's very overcasted and sort of humid but not exactly hot. So it's really nice right now, and only some small horseflies are out, very few. So today's actually a pretty nice day, so I thought we would go ahead and do some work. I had one already bit me right on my lip. I was so upset. But he already got fly sprayed, and as you can see, we're not fighting for our lives today. He got a fly blanket. It finally came today, so we're gonna go ahead and hose him off, and we're gonna get him real nice and clean because he's a little nasty. And then we're gonna put the blanket over top, and that should definitely help with this fly horde. But I don't have my whip because it's honestly just a walks over there, but I really don't feel like walking over there. I'm feeling especially lazy today. So we're gonna do groundwork without our whip, which is pretty simple. I just use the tip of my rope like I would use my whip. Honestly, we'll see if he even needs the whip today. Hopefully he won't. And then I think we're gonna lunge some just to work on our lunging. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're going to put the blanket on. And honestly, I really wanna ride this guy so badly. I can't tell you. I feel like it's gonna be a lot of fun when we start riding. But we're just gonna keep it simple for now. And I might take out Sebastian today, I might not. I sort of retire him for the summer. I did the same thing last summer. I sort of just didn't work him for 2 months straight. Well, not two. I would take like a day here and there, but it would be once a week, if that I would work him, ride him, etc. Mainly because he struggles with fly season a lot more than the other horses. I mean, Sebastian and William are the same height, but Sebastian is 2 horses thicker than William. So Sebastian really struggles to keep the flies off him because he's so much thicker, but he doesn't have as much tail and leg as William does. And Sebastian gets tired really fast from fighting the flies. So he really likes his blankie, and he's just chill during the summer. It's very hard to work him because you get on him and he's like, I don't really want to do this today, Ma. I might go ahead and work him today and throw my mom on him tomorrow because I'm trying to get my mom to go out ahead and ride him, so once we start trailing she can come along, because I don't want her riding William. We don't know how William's going to be out on trails. I'm sure he'll be fine. If he ends up being less difficult than Sebastian, then I'm going to have her ride him. But we're going to see where we go with that. They're here. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to get our groundwork started. We're going to go very soft and easy, mainly because I'm lazy and I don't feel like doing anything complicated. I mainly am focusing on the lunge line working right now, so the groundwork is just a warm-up to get him engaged and to make sure he's getting in the routine of doing things, etc. and etc. Oh, good boy. That's what I would consider perfect right there. I don't need more and I don't need less than that because I'm not asking for more or less than that. If I started, like, for instance, picking up the pace, then I want him to pick up the pace with me. But if I'm just gonna go slow, I want him to go slow with me. I don't want him to go faster or slower than me. There's 2 differences. And this is going to translate to riding very quickly. Because when you're riding, like for say, and I find this most common in the trot because that's mainly where you're going to be focusing with a green horse. That's as fast as you're going to be going until you perfected it. Then you're going to move to the canter. But in the trot, a lot of younger and greener horses tend to want to go faster than you. Or you have one of those slow horses and they want to go slower than you. The goal is that you want to teach them to match your speed. So you want to teach them that when we do this command, it's not always fast, 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 or slow, 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 but we're actually going to change how fast or slow we're going to do it every time we do it. So you're teaching them not only to execute the command, but you're teaching them. My arm is not, that's my pants. You can't. This is probably the weirdest horse I've had to work with. I'm not gonna lie. He's a strange fellow. Sweet, please don't put your teeth on me though. I feel like you're gonna put teeth on me. I feel it. I feel some naughtiness. Like the licking is getting a little too aggressive. You're getting a little. What the heck is wrong with him? I have his saliva all over me. Anywho, temperament-wise, he's great. Oh, here comes the crazy lady. You did?
Everything I bought, she gave us 3 full bottles. Maybe I made it too strong, I don't know.
Yeah, there's no such thing with fly spray.
Very strong. I'm doing this.
He's having a strange moment right now.
Why?
Apparently I'm tasty.
What?
Apparently I'm tasty.
Apparently you're creepy?
Tasty.
Oh yeah? Oh, it's so full. I can't even pump air.
Just spray him. He knows what a spray bottle is. Wow, this stuff does smell. What? This is no different than any other fly spray we've used, buddy. That was a little rude and uncalled for. Anywho, he's more on the spooky side than Sebastian. Sebastian's weary of people, but everything else is fair game. He does not care at all what it is. I swear, if you bite me, we're gonna have some issues. I feel a little passive aggressive with your licking right now. Actually doesn't feel that bad. He won't stop. Well, I guess he likes me. There's that. Anywho, when it comes to groundwork, it's just basically the swinging of his butt. I don't worry about half passing that much right now. Like, I don't have my whip, so I only really do half passing when I have salt over there. This is not because he's lacking salt. I saw him eat from the salt block yesterday and then spook at it and then come back and eat it. It's an adventure, but some days it's just good to do this. I mean, you'd be surprised how beneficial days like this are for them mentally. This is what Sebastian needs to do to get over his fears, but he has yet to start licking me like a dog. Oh, that's my leg. What is wrong with you? How are you still not done with this? William, you are lacking the brain cells. You know, I always thought it was funny when people said geldings are dumb, but I've always owned Sebastian, who's a very smart gelding. He's more of a mare than a gelding, honestly. But my goodness, you are just really showing what a real bay gelding looks like, huh? Aren't you? It would be nice if you're this sweet when we start under saddle. I'm feeling very naughty. I really just want to jump on him bareback, even though I'm probably gonna eat dirt. Alright, well, he's de-stressing and he's apparently quite comfortable with me. What is wrong with him? Make it. Oh gosh, he got blood all over me. Please don't get it on my pants. I really like these pants, and I'd be really upset if you stain them with blood. I'd be really upset. Why are you sweating? Oh, it's apple cider vinegar. That's what it is. I know. My mother and her home remedies are so nice. Alright, let's put that little head of yours. It's a clip. You can't eat it. I don't know how to break it to you. Not all things are edible, yeah. So today, instead of going ahead and lunging him with the whip, we're going to lunge him without the whip. And I want to see what he does. Because, for instance, Sebastian, as I have said, is very sensitive to people. And when I first bought him, when I would hold the whip with me, like in my hand, it will make him really scared. And the whole point of doing all this work is that we keep him nice and relaxed while doing it to teach them. And when they do get like scared, you teach them to relax so they can teach themselves. So they learn themselves how to sort of handle their own emotions so that you can make them a bit more independent. Because there is nothing more I hate than a dependent horse. I do not want to go out on a trail and I have to hold my horse's hand all throughout the trail because he's spooking at every other bush. No, I like my horses very independent, and I teach them to not exactly think for themselves, but to figure things out by themselves. Now, Sebastian, I never had to do this because he's already a very independent horse in a good way, in the sense of he babysits me, which is what I really like. So I'm going to enforce the behavior when he sees something he gets scared at. And he's already pretty good at this. When he sees something he gets spooky at, he sort of like looks at it by himself. He figures it out he doesn't just spook, run away, and stands in the corner and doesn't come back that object. No, he'll come to it several times, snorting, but he'll eventually chillax. So that I do like, and that's I do like about him, is that he's willing to like figure things out on his own, which is a very good habit to make your horses have. So when they spook at something, and say you have a spooker, which chances are spooking is a very common issue with green young horses, just horses in general, because they're prey animals. You just literally like walk them around on the lunge line, and when they spook, you just let them take the line like a fish, and then you let them slowly come back to you, like you slowly have them come back to you, and then you reward them when they're standing beside you looking at the spooky thing, and then eventually, if you feel that they're ready to, you let them smell and you make them approach the spooky thing. So it's a habit I make with all the horses I ride with and work with, is that when they spook at something, which Sebastian has every now and again, not very often, and I wouldn't even consider it spooks, but you make them come back to the object, and you make them smell it and think about it, and then realize it's not going to kill them, and then you continue going, because you're teaching them that they can figure it out on their own, that they can sort of desensitize themselves. It's not all about making things less scary. It's about teaching them self-confidence, and you're also teaching them that they should come back to you, that when they get spooky, they should always come back to you, that they should never like flick into fight or flight mode and take off running. No, they should be able to walk back up to you or stop and look to you. They should always come back around and be like, hey, so that's freaking me out. What do I do? And then you're like, okay, well, let's just stand here and look at it for a minute, and then we're going to approach it. And can you stop licking me? But he already does that pretty well on his own. So when I start riding him, I'm just going to reinforce that. When I see him spooking at things, I'm going to reinforce that. But spookiness is not really something I'm too worried about with him. You ready? You ready? My arm is sobbing wet with saliva. So we're going to work today. So you're going to notice right off the bat, this time compared to our last time lunging, he's not automatically going into the trot. He's actually offering to walk. Now you're going to see it takes a lot more for me to get him trotting, but you're gonna see that he's actually willing to relax and to walk, and that his head is still pretty high in the trot, but it wasn't nearly as high as it was originally. And you're gonna see that he's a lot more willing to offer, to stop, to rest, to listen. You're gonna also notice that he's willing to come a lot closer to me, and that he's willing to be a lot more responsive than when I didn't have the whip in my hand. When I did have my whip in my hand. So you'll see that he walks up right up to me, and he definitely picked up onto what we were getting on yesterday, the last time we lunched. And you'll definitely see he's a very quick learner. He's picking it up quite fast, and that he's taking it slow and easy, and he's actually relaxing a lot more than he did last time. So you're gonna notice he's a lot more relaxed without the whip, which is exactly what I want. I'm probably not gonna be able to get him to canter without the whip, but I'm gonna instead take advantage of this relaxation without the whip and he can relax, walk on the lunge line, pick up the trot to stop. So now we're gonna mix it up. I'm gonna ask him to pick up the trot. Trot! 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 Very good. I'm gonna ask him to hold the trot. I'm gonna bring him a little closer so I can get him a bit more control. Easy walk, easy walk, easy walk, easy walk. Good boy. Walk. But here I'm gonna keep him going. So we're going from walk to trot, right? A hoe is gonna be a comeback sound, right? So as soon as I ask for the whoa, he's gonna come back to me. Okay, now we're gonna pick up the trot. Trot! Very good. Keep it up. Trot. Easy, easy walk, easy walk, easy walk. Good boy. And now we're gonna keep side. Very good, very good. Trot. Trot. Boy, boy. Let's see if I can get him to drop his head. We're just gonna play around with some of the commands we can learn. Good boy. He's getting it. Trot. Walk. Easy walk. Very good. Boy. We're just walking. We're just walking. Trot. Good boy. Good boy. Gonna let him trot. Trot. So you can see that he's catching on rather quickly to the easy walk command and the picking up of the trot and the hoeing and the coming back to me. So he's definitely catching on to all of that. And you're also going to see that he's willing to offer a lot more relaxation than we did on the whip. Now, do I think I would be able to get him to canter without the whip? No, not right now. But right now, I want to focus more on our voice commands and really make sure we're cementing that. And I want to make sure that he's not flipping out, and I want to make sure he's able to come back to me and he's not just running on his own accord. Now, I want you to watch closely here because I'm going to pick up the whip because my end goal is to be able to do all this even with the whip. But I want you to watch how differently he reacts to when we first started and how sensitive young horses are to pressure. So you saw I just picked up the whip and he started running automatically. So automatically I'm not going to follow him with my body because I had not asked him for anything. I did not give him any commands. So I'm going to wait for him to calm down and come back to me. But I do want you to take note and just see just how sensitive they are to even the smallest of details. So the goal is that I do want him to be able to do everything we just did without the whip, with the whip, because I want to teach him relaxation even with like a whip in my hand. But I mainly picked up the whip because A, I plan on integrating the whip into lunging because you sort of lunge with a lunging whip, like that's the thing. And second, I did wanted to see if I could get him to canter today. So finally he came back to me and I rewarded him, and then we started off slow at a walk like I like to start. I don't like to get right into trotting. But I decided I was not going to win the battle of walking. So I just let him jog slowly, and then I started seeing if we could get him to canter. So I have noticed that he's very much of a trotter. He does not really like to pick up the canter. So you're going to see it took a lot for me to really push him to the canter. And when he did give me the canter, he only gave me a few strides. And you'll see his canter's really panicky. His head is really high. There's no balance. There's no rhythm. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And actually, Sebastian was the same way when I bought him. And what a difference it makes to teach relaxation and rhythm. But like I said, we're just starting, and today we were actually able to get the canter on the lunch line, even if it was very little cantering, but I was more than happy with that.
So it shows that for each horse you have to sort of
you see he's all wound up now. And that's what I mean by a lot of the times people teach their horses to lunch, it's all go, 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 and not so much relaxation. So you can see when I picked up that whip, he's not too happy about it. I don't even know what you're snorting at. There's nothing over there. Now, sadly, once again, my recording just decided to stop, but I decided that I did not want our lunging experience to end on such a bad note as him getting stressed out with the whip. So I went ahead and I lunged him one more time without the whip and just tried to get him to relax some. And once I felt like he had chillaxed and we felt better about it, I actually went and we did some mounting work. Now, I mean that in quotation marks. We didn't do any actual mounting, but I just practiced getting him to stand still while I stood on top of a bucket next to him and teaching him to park up next to me, because when I did go try him out on Sunday, the lady did tell me that he had a bit of a mounting problem, which was most definitely quite obvious. He would fiddle around a lot while mounting, and he would move away. And this is, again, a very common issue among horses in general. So I just started on fixing that and improving on that a little today. And then we sort of, once he rested and we finished that, we ended on a good note. And that's where we stopped for the day.